What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing this video in a place that is slightly hidden because some members of my house are working from home. I am still on leave, and so I need to give them a comfortable environment to work, and so I had to look for an alternative place to do this video. Okay, so that's that. Welcome back to my channel. If you're visiting for the first time, my name is the Godly Princess, and I'm here to give a review of my book, It Ends With Us. I have been reading this book. In fact, I read this book in one day, but it has taken me a long time to do a review of it because I was in the village. I just came back from the city. Okay, so let's get into the review. This book is about a lady called Lily. Lily comes from an abusive family. The father abuses the mother. Lily's father abuses Lily's mother. Okay, so Lily grows in such a family. Along the way, when she's growing up in her teenagehood, Lily meets this guy called Atlas, but their relationship is cut short because Atlas is homeless, and finally Atlas finds a home in Boston with the uncle, and Atlas goes and leaves Lily back in Maine where she lives with her parents. Anyway, Lily finally goes to campus, finishes campus, gets a job, and meets another guy called Ryle. I want you guys to note that Lily had a crush on Atlas, and Atlas had a crush on Lily. These two loved each other from teenagehood. Okay, Atlas has gone. Lily has also started her life and has met a new guy called Ryle. I also want you guys to note that Lily comes from an abusive family where the dad was abusing the mother. Okay, and then when Lily gets into this relationship with Ryle, it leads to a quick marriage. Okay, and then along the way, Lily misses to take her pill. Okay, and she gets pregnant, unplanned. Okay, and then I also want you to note that Ryle and Lily has violence in this marriage of theirs as well. Okay, and towards the end of this book, they separate. Ryle and Lily separate. Okay, I also want you to note that Lily gets to a point, she says, this violence thing ends with me, and she says ends with us because it is her together with her daughter. She says, my mom was abused by my dad. Okay, and then Lily says, I have been abused by my husband Ryle. Okay, and then she says this ends with us. Okay, and she makes a decision that will make sure that violence ends with them. It ended with her and her daughter. Okay, so you will have to know how that went on when you read this book. Okay, all the details you will get to know when you read this book for yourself. I don't want to spoil for you, but this is a beautiful book for someone who has grown up in a house full of violence. Okay, so if you want it to end with you, you need to read this book. Enough of that review. Okay, so I want to give you a bit of my point of view, like the lessons I learned from this book. I want to read them out to you, and in the comment section you can give me your opinion on my opinions. Okay, and if you have read this book, you can also add a few of your opinions down in the comment section below. Okay, so let's get into my point of view. Number one, the lesson I learned from this book is keeping gifts from your past relationship should be talked about earlier in a new relationship, okay? So if you have an old relationship, the point at which you're getting into a new relationship, if you have gifts that you have kept, if you have memories that you have, physical memories kept of you and your partner in the last relationship, you need to talk about this in your date, okay? Before you get married, before the relationship gets serious, talk about those. Talk about the things you're keeping. And I really wonder why you are keeping them, okay? But if you have to keep them, especially when they are valuable things, like if someone bought you a couch and it is valuable and expensive, so why do away with the couch, okay? Yeah, so if there are such things that may come up later, it's better to share them early in the relationship, okay? Number two, if a man tells you he isn't into commitment, believe him, okay? Don't say, I am the one who is going to make him love relationships. You are not unique from other women, okay? So if you have friends with a guy, and this guy, in the process of you guys being friends, if this guy tells you they are not into marriages and commitment, believe them, okay? And I want you to set it in your mind that regardless of any feelings that will come between you and them, you're not getting into a relationship with this guy. And if you can just cut your ties with them, okay? Because if anything happens and then you guys start a relationship, you will have to work hard to break these ties before it can be smooth. It's going to be a rough ride, okay? So if you're ready for this rough ride, then get into a relationship with them. If you're not ready, please just let it go. Cut your ties with them because it's going to be a rough ride. Number three, if you still love someone else, don't go into another relationship with that baggage. Get real closure, okay? If you still love someone, it's simple as that, okay? It's possible to get to a point where you loved someone but you don't have strong feelings for them, and even if you would meet them, there's nothing that will continue in between you guys, okay? So that's okay. But if you still have strong affection for someone and you still think about them, then it's better to have closure, okay, with them before you get into another relationship, okay? I didn't like how constantly the lady here was going back to Atlas and they're with Ryle. That's not healthy, okay? Even if you're going to read this book and such is happening to you, it is not healthy. If you want a committed relationship, a committed marriage, then you need to go there committed. And commitment means your mind is not elsewhere. Your mind is in this marriage, okay? Or is in this relationship. Number four, don't get kids in marriage until you have worked on your conflict resolution, okay? When people get to date, they get to know each other. When people get into marriage, the first year of marriage, they're still getting to know each other. And this process of knowing each other really is an ongoing process. You get to know each other until you're 100 years, okay? So, but the very first process of knowing each other is brutal, okay? So before you can iron out things, don't get children, okay? You fight, get to a point you can communicate well, get to a point you have decided on the best way of resolving your conflicts before you can bring children, okay? At the point at which you're bringing children into a marriage, make sure you guys have stopped physical fighting. You have agreed that there is no physical fighting. You can sit down and discuss everything without getting physical. Your conflict resolution must have graduated to a mature level before you can bring children into the equation. You don't want to fight and your children are watching you. That's not a healthy environment to bring up kids. Okay, the next one is really the same as number 4. Once you get kids, agree that beating each other is not part of conflict resolution. Okay, all right, it's possible to get to that point, okay, where you're not fighting physically, you guys are just talking. Regardless of how difficult the situation is, it is possible to get to a point where people are just talking and people are not getting physical and people are not raising voices. I talk, I listen to the other person talk, then the other person talks and I keep quiet and listen to them. It's possible to get to that point where you guys have raised your ego and put them down and stepped on them, and now when you disagree without ego involved. Number 6, avoid alcohol. If you can avoid alcohol, you know, I can put my hand on this, that most of the bad things that happen, the killings where couples kill each other by mistake, most of the fights where people are injured, is because alcohol was involved. When you are intoxicated, you can do things that you'll regret about. I'm so sure some people even have died, and if they could be given an opportunity to speak about what happened, they will say, I was intoxicated, it was alcohol. Okay, yeah, so if you can, once you get into marriage, if you can stop alcohol, if you can, okay, it's your choice, but just know that if you can, alcohol is an enemy to conflict resolution, because once you're intoxicated, you make decisions you definitely regret about, things you don't intend to do. Number 7, a wedding or vows should not be a reason to stay in abusive marriage. Vows says, I will love you in sickness and health, love you and not harm you. The person who you are getting married to has the right to love you and not the right to beat you. Okay, so when you make your vows or when you're married through a wedding, let not this be a reason for you to stay in an abusive marriage. Those vows were not for you to kill yourself. For better or for worse does not mean that you kill yourself. It means this person has promised to love you for better for worse, not to harm you. Okay, so harming you is not part of the agreement, and so if there's any form of harm, please leave. The Bible allows divorce. Okay, if anybody's telling you the Bible does not allow divorce, they're lying to you, because the Bible actually allows divorce on account of unfaithfulness. And really, unfaithfulness is not only about sex. Someone can be unfaithful in the way they treat you, right? That is also unfaithfulness. So don't stay somewhere that is violent and then die. Okay. Number 8, never make a decision to stay because of a kid. Never make a decision to marry because you are pregnant. You can't make better decisions while pregnant. Okay, all right. And pregnancy is not a reason to get married to someone. My voice, I have cold, guys. So better, yeah, so pregnancy is not a reason to get married to someone. Don't get married to someone because you're pregnant. Don't make a decision to get married to someone because you're pregnant or because of a kid. The kid, I loved something that I read in this book. The kid wants to have a good relationship with both the parents. Okay, and the way one parent treats another will interfere with how the kid views that parent. Okay, so making a decision to stay with because of a kid is not a good decision, because your kid will not want to see you as a violent human being. That is not the part of you that the kid wants to know you for. Your kid wants to know you as a loving parent, okay? And it's better for you to get out of this marriage and go to a place where your kid can view you how they would love to view you, okay? Not as someone who loves being abused. If you are a mother, if you stay there, or if you are the parent that is being abused, if you stay there, you will make abuse normal to this kid, okay to this kid, okay? So choosing to stay in a marriage because of a kid or because of a pregnancy is not the right decision to make. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 9. Oh, we are done. Lily forgot to take her pill. Let us stop these silly reasons to become pregnant. Before you start caressing, before you start making love, swallow the pill. Make sure the coil is in place. Be responsible for yourself, okay? Sex is not only for making children. Sex is also for enjoyment. So the moment you settle down to have sex, ask yourself, which kind of sex are we having? Are we just enjoying ourselves, or we are looking for a child? So if you're just enjoying yourself, make sure the contraceptive is in place. Forgetting to take your pill is not a reason. Being shy to go to a gynecology is not a reason to get pregnant, okay? You need to be prepared for your child. You need to be ready for your child. I know children are a blessing, yes, but they need to be well taken care of. They need to come to a place where they're waited for, okay? So please make sure you know the kind of sex you're having. Is it for entertainment? Is it for having a child? Okay, if it is for entertainment, fix that contraceptive, okay? Number last. The perfect reason why people don't walk out of abusive relationships is because it's a familiar thing. Familiar finally becomes normal or okay. Lily saw this at home and mom stayed even though she was being abused, making abuse even more normal to Lily. Okay? So now you have been answered. The reason why women or men stay in abusive relationships, in abusive marriages, is because it's normal to them. Okay? It's familiar. They saw someone they knew being abused. They know a friend who is being abused, who is making abuse okay. Okay? So abuse is not okay. Someone like me who did not grow up in a family that was abusive, if you slap me, I'll make a big deal out of it. Because even slapping, my parent did not do. So it's not normal, it's not okay to me. That's why I'm making a big deal out of it. But if you are slapped, if you are abused by your parent, if your parents were abusing each other, then abuse becomes okay to you. It becomes normal. That is why people stay. That is why they try to leave. They can't leave. They're justifying everything that is happening because somehow most of these things they're seeing are normal, are familiar, are okay. Okay? Until they find someone that can tell them this is not okay. That is when they can get the power to leave. But okay makes it easy to stay and make it work. There's nothing you're making work. You are used to this. This is okay to you. This is normal to you. Okay? Yeah. I want to read for you two things, okay? The first thing I want to read for you is in page 261. These are the words of Lily's mom when Lily opened up to her mom and told her mom that the husband was abusing her. These are the words of Lily's mom to Lily. She said, I know that you believe he loves you, and I'm sure he does. But he's not loving you the right way. He doesn't love you the way you deserve to be loved. If Ryle truly loves you, he wouldn't allow you to take him back. He will make the decision to leave you himself, so that he knows for a fact that he can never hurt you again. That's the kind of love a woman deserves. Those were the words of Lily's mom. Lily's mom told her that you can have a man who loves you, okay? But they might not love you right, because it is okay to love, but is the love right for you? Is the love really relevant for you? It's not relevant for you. It's not acceptable by you. You don't deserve that kind of love, right? Yeah, so I know your husband or your boyfriend loves you. They're doing things that show they know how to love. It is the only thing that maybe needs the only thing that you need to know, that they're not loving you the right way. The love they're giving you is not yours. You don't deserve that love. If they're abusing you, that is not the love you deserve, okay? Then the second thing I want to read, and the last thing is, these were the words of Lily, or the words of the writer, I think, but it says, circles exist because they're excruciating to break. It takes an astronomical amount of pain and courage to disrupt a familiar pattern. Okay, and I love the words of Lily. She said, and as hard as this choice is, we break the pattern before the pattern break us. Okay, so decide today that every pattern that you have in your life. Me, I had a pattern in my life where my aunties were not being married, as in all the women in my family. All the women, 99% are not married. Even my auntie, who is 50 years old, 60 years old, they are not married. The men are married. Most men are married in my family. The women, 99% are not married. And I realized this early in my life, and I think when I was in class 8 in primary school, and the day I finished high school, I told my bishop to pray for me. I told her, there's a pattern in my family where women don't get married, and I want this pattern to end with me. Yeah, so even you can say, look at the patterns in your life and decide which pattern is going to end with you, okay? Which of these patterns is going to end with you? It's hard to break a pattern. It's hard. It's like jumping from a plane without a parachute, not knowing where you're going to land. Yeah, that's how hard it is to break a pattern. But it is worthwhile to break a pattern and let it end with you, okay? And this book ends with a divorce, but really divorce is not really the way to break a pattern. But you know, there are many ways to break a pattern, okay? So it is better a broken relationship than a broken marriage. So decide you're going to break that pattern early in life, even before you get in marriage. When you're getting into a relationship with someone, if you come from a family that is full of abuse, tell this person, you're not allowed to put a finger on me. Even a finger, do not lay on me. You're not allowed to beat me, because I am here trying to break a pattern. That pattern ends with me. It's not going to continue in my generation, okay? You know, I'm a preacher, guys. I might end up being preaching, but I want to end this here, and I hope that you have loved my review. I want to continue wishing you a happy new year, and enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.